Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Liverpool respond to critics, to be honest. What a performance by Liverpool. I was keeping an eye on the game while actually watching Inter throw away a cup. While Liverpool advanced to a semi-final in the cup, we actually bottled the cup, to be honest, after being 1-0 up in extra time. But Chelsea get the easy draw. Chelsea or Liverpool to win a trophy. Hit that like button, people. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about Sabozlai today. Did he actually just tap pad by that goal? Or was he actually good? So people are going to tell me that. Rack is here. Mike is here. Winter Surfer is here, of course. How are you guys feeling? Liverpool fans happy, of course, huh?
Magnifique.
Absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. Here we go. Samas is saying Zirkzee assist against Inter was class. The guy is ridiculous, but we throw the game away. But yes, if you don't know the guy, you can know the guy now. So Inter lost in the cup, so you get your banter away. We're absolutely bozos playing football because we're at home. But yeah, Liverpool do the job. So how did you guys assess the lineup? You guys were happy? You guys more fluid? Did that look like the actual Liverpool, better than Man United? West Ham tried to defend deep, but they couldn't. So how did you guys assess the game?
You want it, Rack? Oh, you're muted.
Rack is muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah. You're muted, Rack.
I think your mic is not connected.
I'll go ahead and take over
give
here.
it to me, Mike.
Listen, I think that I was happy with the starting lineup because I wanted to see Jurgen change something because we've seen pretty much the same thing for 5 straight games. And, Harvey Elliott finally gets an opportunity to start at right wing after, he's had a couple of good sub performances, and he was outstanding today. He was all over the pitch. I think that Darwin Núñez on the left wing was also superb. He was excellent defensively in the final third. He was winning balls back after he was making mistakes. So, even when he was making errors, he immediately rectified those errors. He also had a wonderful assist to Curtis Jones, who had a great game. I think that, the biggest thing for me is Szoboszlai didn't have to worry about the inverted right back, right? Szoboszlai wasn't clashing with Trent. And that was like the biggest takeaway I had. And it was also like my theory. I thought that Szoboszlai's poor performances were because he was clashing with Mo and Trent on the right side, because earlier in the season, his best games were when Trent was not in the side. And what do you know? Szoboszlai was free today. He looked fantastic. The midfield was fluid, and who wasn't inverting? Trent. So, to me, it was something new tactically and personnel wise, and ultimately we executed. So I loved what I saw, and I'm happy that Jurgen changed things up a little bit and was experimenting, which is ultimately what I want to see after like 6 poor performances without losing. You know what I mean? Which ultimately is like the big overarching theme that us Liverpool fans, it's like, we're not losing, but we're not putting in performances. And today we did.
So your solution is not to play Trent or Mohamed Salah?
No. That's not my solution. My
You literally just said that.
No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
This is legally trained Mo again. Here we go.
100%. 100%. The thing is,
he just said I saw a free Szoboszlai because he doesn't clash with Trent.
Your Honor, I object.
I
he
came
literally
ready.
just said that.
Someone timestamped that. 4 minutes 30.
I came
4
ready.
minutes 30 when Mo started. 4 minutes 30.
I came ready for this. Listen, Mo.
He's like, whoa. Szoboszlai was great, and guess who's not playing? Trent and Mo. So we see a fluid Liverpool.
Okay. Here we go. Ready? I'm just gonna debunk this. I'm gonna get ahead of this, as they like to say in PR. Right? What happens is when Trent inverts, he clashes with Szoboszlai because they both play on the right side.
By the way, you're digging the hole even more. By the way, you keep doing it.
Hold on.
All right.
All I'm saying is that you get the best out of Szoboszlai when you don't invert Trent. Trent should 100% always be on the field. That's not a question. And when Trent came in at the 6 today, because when he came on, he was playing in the 6. He stayed deep. And what did he do? He got 2 assists, and he was fantastic. And he wasn't bombing forward. He wasn't leaving himself exposed. The overarching point here is that Szoboszlai and Trent clash. Can they have good games together? Absolutely. But I'm not going to get the best out of Szoboszlai with Trent inverted. What can I do? I could potentially put them both at 8s. I could move Trent to a 6 and play Joe Gomez at right back. I want them both on the pitch at the same time, but I want the best out of all of them. That's it. I don't want to go out here saying that Trent shouldn't be on the field to make room for Szoboszlai, because that's insanity. I would never say that.
Rack,
But-
can you play Trent as a 6 by himself?
I think that there's not enough evidence to suggest that can or can't work at this stage. I've always been an advocate of saying that my default position is that I don't want to see him in midfield. I want him to play at right back because I think he gives a lot from that position, and that position he's uniquely positioned to impact the game from there. And I wanted us to continue to go back to how we were playing in our best years when Trent was playing more down the right hand side. Obviously, last season it became a bit of a necessity because teams were playing through us centrally so much that it was just like an aging Fabinho trying to against a one-man army against 3-4 runners, and that obviously became difficult. And I think when we did invert last season, we did see improvements. We did become a bit more solid. We did go on a decent run of wins, but the performances even then never really satisfied me. The jury's out on Trent as a 6 in my opinion still, just because I haven't seen enough of him. And my preference would be to get a ball dominant possession, someone who's strong possession 6, and put Trent back into a more conventional right back position that he's played for us pretty much his whole career. But I could be wrong. And the power of the 3 rotating before, it used to be Hendo, Trent, and Salah, occupying each other's positions, but doing it in a systematic way rather than a chaotic way, worked in the past. And a Szoboszlai coming into that in place of Hendo can only improve us in terms of creativity. But obviously, we need to be a little bit cautious because part of Hendo's role was also to cover for Trent when he was more of a marauding right back. So, I'd like to see us go back to that, but it all depends on can we get someone defensively competent to play that.
But Endo played well. Endo played well.
He did.
Yeah, he did. It's
Endo played well. Actually,
I
Endo
think
played
it's okay.
well against Man United, and he played well against West Ham. And these are the teams that you're going to face. West Ham put out their strongest 11, didn't they?
They didn't
Paqueta
really.
wasn't playing.
James Ward-Prowse on the bench.
Paqueta, maybe you're right. But I thought Endo was all right, to be honest. I think it was good.
I think it's more cover for Endo or competition.
Yeah, I think the people who've been critical of Endo,
Yeah.
I think the criticism has been a little bit too extreme. He hasn't been amazing, but he hasn't been anywhere near as bad as people will say. I just think he's been okay. But ideally, I'd like us, if you're going for the league, I'd like us to have something a bit better than okay.
The criticism of Endo is very funny since more than 3/4 of your fan base didn't rate him to begin with. So the criticism of him is slightly like
because he isn't the guy. Listen, he isn't the guy to win you the Premier League or win you the Champions League. Like Endo is a stopgap. It's as simple as that. Let me do the super chat with Andrew Wright. Let me just put maybe. It's rude, so I'll cover myself. I think Tom was right about Jones. Maybe Trent is number 6 now. Gomez is better at right back. Maybe the Trent system is not helping Salah or Szoboszlai. Here is another Liverpool fan, Andrew, one of the viewers. Thank you, Andrew, for the super chat. Thinking that there has to be another solution for Trent.
Yeah.
Do you guys know in the beginning of the season, I think I said for Liverpool, for system to work, Trent might have been dropped until you get a good, competent 6. Well, I take that back because Trent has proven that he's your best player, along with Mohamed Salah. So then you have to find a solution around Trent. That's like you have to make things work around Trent. And I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, because Szoboszlai has to cover Trent. And Szoboszlai, by the way, he's not a defensive midfielder. Like Szoboszlai is more of an attacking guy.
No.
Henderson was more of a 60 defensive, 40 offensive. Suppose like 70-30 or probably 80-20. That's one of the problems. And Indo cannot cover that side by himself. I think there has to be a solution. And Mohamed Salah is not a defender as well. So that right side, and Konate can't cover that by himself. So that right side gets exposed. So that's why Klopp needs to find a solution, in my opinion. Listen, over 150 people here, guys. So can we get to 100 likes? It's simple. Doesn't cost you a penny, but it helped the channel massively. So please hit that like button, people. I'm not sure. There is someone in the chat that keeps mentioning Inter. Listen, we crashed out of the cup. I'm not happy about it. I'm going to say that because people said you're a fraud. You don't talk about your club. This channel is mainly focused on the Premier League. There is another channel for Inter. But we crashed out of the cup because we put out a secondary team. We missed the penalty, and our players are bozos. So I don't know what else to say. We fucked up. The coach fucked up. The players are clowns. And we crashed out of the cup against a Bologna team that is playing out of their skin. It's as simple as that. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I still think we should have won the game. But just move on. I'm from Inter back to Liverpool.
But Inter top of the league, though, right?
We're top of the league by 5 points. We scored 39 goals and conceded 7.
Yeah,
pretty good.
So,
pretty good. Pretty good.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It definitely could be worse. And for some reason, like I wanted to win the cup. We won it the last two years, but I think he's throwing it away for some reason. I don't know why, but it was an easy run. But yeah, we have a bigger fish to fry. This is the definition of have a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah, for sure.
Oh no, he said bigger fish to fry.
We literally have a bigger fish to fry, but we basically have 2 teams, and the second team is absolutely will get relegated if they play every week. I'm being serious. The second team will probably get like 15th in the league. But yeah, it's as simple as that. But listen, back to Liverpool and the Trent and Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones was great today.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Curtis Jones, he plays more good games than bad games. But the problem for some reasons is Liverpool fans don't want to admit that. Like the majority of the fans say he's not good enough for Liverpool.
The problem is I think it's not just Liverpool fans. I think fans will start watching a player and they'll form an opinion of him. And then once that player starts performing better or worse, depending on what your initial opinion of them, they're very reluctant to move because they've seen, Curtis Jones was a young player, and inevitably with young players, what's the development is not linear, and sometimes players don't play well; they're inconsistent. And this season, whenever he's played very well. And people are reluctant because they think, 2 years ago he wasn't very good. Last year he was injured a lot. He wasn't very good.
He's 22 years old. He's younger than Foden, Saka, Martinelli, all these people.
I know. And people will still say, look, a good friend of mine on Twitter, he said this. I'm not going to mention his name because he's a good friend of mine. But he was like, Curtis Jones in the last 15 minutes, his decision making. No. His decision. He said in the last 15 minutes, his decision making has been terrible. But who makes a judgment about decision making over a period of 15 minutes? It doesn't.
Well, I was going to say it's funny that you bring that up because I think in reality, Curtis's first half was drastically different from the second half, and in my mind, at the beginning of this game, especially in the first half, there were many times where Curtis Jones had the ball and he just made the wrong decision. Right? He wasn't looking for the through ball in. He was laying it off. He wasn't making the right choice. Then obviously in the second half, he did. End of the game, whatever. We were up 5-1. I'm okay if someone starts drifting off. It is what it is. Not to mention he scored 2 goals, both of them beautifully taken. I think that with Curtis, the problem is that when he's bad, he's bad. You know what I mean? When he's bad, I really see it and it affects everyone else around him. Kind of like the City game. Right, the thing that I saw with him in the City game was that he was inept in being able to turn and run and start a counterattack against Manchester City. Today, he was able to do it. Today, he was able to be a ball-carrying 8, and he was excellent on the ball. But it's hot and cold for me with him. I think that he's got a ton of potential, though.
I think the issue is perhaps sometimes he struggles to strike the balance between being composed and conservative with the ball, versus his natural instincts to go, to take control of the game. Because sometimes against City, you start taking the game, trying to take the game of stuff by neck. Suddenly they win the ball, they 2 or 3 passes, and they're through you in midfield, and that's not what you've been instructed to do. So I think he sometimes that subtleness in his game is a little bit lacking. But again, I'm not going to beat him up. He's 22 years old. I think he'll be okay. And my expectations of Curtis have always been, just like in most other big teams or successful teams in the past, he's a homegrown player. If he becomes a very good squad player for us, I'm happy. I don't need Curtis Jones to become a world class, marauding, super duper attacking central midfielder. If he comes in and he plays a significant number of games, has good impacts but not amazing impacts, I'm fine with that, because you need these players to form a coherent squad.
So I think that's where the hypercriticism comes from, because even in all fan bases, when you're homegrown and you're from the local area as well, it becomes even more intense. I don't know why, but it just does. And I don't know why they should be given more time, but it's like a lot more is expected of them because they know the club. That whole thing.
Yeah.
He knows the club and stuff like that, so you're expecting more, which is pretty. The standards set at Liverpool are really the 2 youth products of Steven Gerrard and Trent, right? They're the highest They're the highest of high standards, right? So,
but you're not going to get Van Dijk and Trent every day, like that.
No. But what I'm saying is, we are overcritical as fan base for our own clubs. So any youth product we think is going to be the best, because it comes out of whatever our youth academy is, because it's been promoted as the best. So criticism is often way overboard. If he wasn't like a homegrown or something like that, or even part of the youth, and was just a young player that you bought, like say a Harvey Elliott, right? Say a Harvey Elliott's not really a youth product. You guys are a local lad or something like that, but he gets less criticism than say Curtis Jones gets, right? So it's just unfortunately it's just one of the things that comes with the territory. It's horrible. But it just comes with it.
For some reason, Liverpool fans, let me just say that. Liverpool fans, for some reason, have this, they like an outsider for some reason. Because I've seen the criticism of Harvey Elliott, which is not warranted. The guy was 18 years old, and I've seen Liverpool fans say, he's rubbish. He's not good.
He was being played out of position.
18 years old. And I've seen Curtis Jones, same thing. Like, watch now, Konsa makes a mistake or something. Oh, go sign a center back. We need a center back. Oh, he's not good enough.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I've seen it. For some reason, Liverpool fans want, because, and I think that, I'm not sure if that's true, because they had one of the best teams without winning enough trophies, they're like, we had a very good team, but the City team kept beating us in the race, even though we were brilliant and great. We reached 3 Champions League finals, and we won only 1. So they're like, "Mom, we know what? We want better. We want a better. Harvey Elliott isn't good enough. Curtis Jones isn't. We want the superstars." This is why Szoboszlai is protected, in my opinion. Sometimes he's very good, but he doesn't get the same treatment because he's the guy for coming from outside. He's the guest. He doesn't get the same treatment as the rest, as the Curtis Jones or the rest of them, because he's the guest. Oh, I don't want to piss off Szoboszlai. He's going to be a superstar. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it, because it doesn't make any sense to criticize an 18 years old and a 20 years old and not criticize Szoboszlai or other players because they are guests.
It's a very, like, I think that the problem with Harvey is that he was getting most of his criticism last season, but he wasn't even playing his natural position, and he was playing in a dog water midfield. It was the same thing with Curtis Jones. I think that you have to take into account, you have to take into account the midfield that was playing, the fact that they weren't looking good regardless. It's like when Stefan Bajcetic, like he comes in and everyone thinks that he's the second coming of the Messiah, and in reality he's just playing like a normal midfielder, and he's just showing like good skills, and we're like, oh my god, I forgot what a decent footballer in an 8 looks like. So I think that yes, they are receiving unfair criticism, and this year they've been solid. The only thing that I'll say is that out of Curtis Jones, he's been good so far, but in the one game that he was up, he's got 2 games up against big sides. He got a red card against Tottenham, and he was completely absent against Manchester City. So I need to see him perform in a major game before I can really buy all
I think
in
this was a
to
major
this
game.
idea.
West Ham coming to Anfield, defending for 90 minutes, and Curtis Jones putting in a good performance.
I wouldn't put that on the same scale as Arsenal
It's
coming
not
to
Arsenal, Man City,
Anfield.
yes.
which is I'm basically saying I need to see that game, because right now he's over 2 on big games. He was sent off and he disappeared. So I need to see it.
The only problem with that is that he doesn't get a consistent run of games.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So you're asking for him to build that up and then dropping him in to a big game is not going to help, stuff like that. Now he needs to, by the end of the season, if he's not getting enough games, he needs to consider whether he wants to stay at Liverpool or not for the sake of his career. True. Because everyone now, careers are starting younger now. They're starting at 16, 17 years old now. They're not waiting until 2021. By the time you're 2021, you've probably played 200 games. Look at Saka or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. So asking him to, he needs a consistent run of games, but you bought midfield enforcements in. He's not going to get that unless there's injuries or suspensions. He's not going to get that consistent run of games. Same with Harvey Elliott. So these type of games, he needs to stand out, and he did tonight. He stood out tonight very well.
Yeah, listen, guys. There's over 260 of you here, so can we get the likes up to 100 at least? Listen, was that the right response though? Is that make Liverpool? You know what, Arsenal? We are not the team that played Man United. That was a one-off.
Yeah.
You're coming to our ground. We're not going to take it easy. Was that the right one? Was that the response that, listen, we're still Liverpool at Anfield. You're not going to have it easy at our ground. How confident are you against Arsenal? Rack.
I'm always confident. I'm always confident when we play Anfield, and I'm always confident when we play Arsenal, because we have a good record against them. Even last season when they went 2 up, after as soon as we got back into the game, we were by far the better team. And people will talk about the whole myth of Anfield, despite what numerous managers, players, and everyone related to the myth. But the proof is in the pudding. Our results at Anfield are generally very, very good, especially against the top teams. And I expect us to go into the game against Arsenal and win. Nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's going to be heavily dependent on the lineup we put out there. Mm-hmm. I think that if we put the same exact lineup as Manchester United and we go Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Endo, I think that we're going to be unbalanced. I think that we're going to run into the same issues.
So we've been Szoboszlai, or who we've been?
Basically, personally, what I would do is I would put Szoboszlai. Listen. If you're gonna do Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, then just flip flop them. Put Szoboszlai on the left and Gravenberch on the right. Just don't let Szoboszlai and Trent butt heads, because Trent likes the right side of the field. So let Szoboszlai occupy the other side so that they both have space to create from. That's pretty much it. That's
Is McAllister back for this game?
I'm not 100% sure because of the fact that the stitches were directly on the knee, and so I don't know if they're fully healed yet. I think that ultimately it's going to be down to the lineup. And one thing I will say about Anfield is that Klopp even said it today. Like, the atmosphere has been pathetic. And he even came out after the game and said that the atmosphere was pathetic.
An international fan criticizing game-going fans.
Oh my God, 100%. Are you kidding me? If I went there, I wouldn't shut up from the second I got into the stadium to the second I left. I would not stop singing. And the fact that I can even hear West Ham fans bothers me to my core, because I'm like, that's just, I would pay $500 to go to any game at Anfield and I wouldn't shut up. And so you have the privilege to go to these games. You shouldn't be quiet. You should get behind the team, and that's what they should have been doing.
McAllister is out, by the way. People in the chat are telling us, and actually I just checked. McAllister is out until the new year. That's confirmed.
Isn't Gravenberch out as well? Didn't he go off for an injury the other day?
I think he said he was tired. There was no injury. I think he came out and said he was a bit fatigued.
Which is fine. I don't even think that personally. I don't think that McAllister makes or breaks this game. I think that creatively we're great. It's just a matter of getting the balance right. We have to get the recipe right. Like Nunes has got to be on the left, Gakpo down the center, Salah down the right, and Szoboszlai and Trent just can't step on each other's toes. If we can do all of that, I fancy our chances, because Arsenal are going to come and they're going to play ball. right? They're not going to sit back in a low block, and they're going to attack us. They're going to open up, and that's what I want to see. And that's the team that I would love to see out there, because I have got pace on the wings, and I've got a guy who can drop back in the middle. Easy peasy. It's still going to be a very difficult game. So.
How important this trophy is, the Carabao Cup, for this season, for Chelsea and Liverpool? How important it is for real?
Very.
Go on, Andrew, go.
For us, I think it's paramount. I really do. I think it's paramount for Pochettino for a number of reasons. To win that first trophy in England, to get that off his back, to win the first trophy with Chelsea, to give him more time, for this squad of young players to have the taste of winning. It's not. See, winning the cup's an achievement. The thing about the progress bit is after that. What do you do after that? But just winning it needs to happen. It can shape the rest of your season if your players believe in it or something like that. But to give this young squad something to win early on, especially in a season like this, I think is paramount. It's a necessary for us to win it. I truly believe that I will take. I don't care what it is. I don't care what trophy, like legitimate trophy, not pre-season crap. Legitimate league trophies, I will take it. And I like the League Cup. I think it's, in some ways, I think it's all more important than the FA Cup, because it's the first trophy you can win in the season. I really do. Now, it'd probably be different for Liverpool guys, but I'll probably say it's important as well, because they didn't win anything last season, and it might spare make the guys go on and win Europa League and do well in the league and stuff like that. But for us, it's absolutely, and that's why I was so glad we went as strong as we did yesterday, and not mix it up. We have to win this trophy. It's on offer, especially with the semi-final draw now as well. We have to get to Wembley, and we have to win this trophy. It's paramount. It's a must win.
Listen, for me, I don't rate the Carabao Cup as much for big clubs. So, in my opinion, I don't think it matters. However, for Chelsea, I think it matters for Chelsea. For Liverpool, I think you have a bigger fish to fry. But it's here. You know what? Even Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, for him, it looked like from the lineup, like he didn't rate it as high as like Chelsea put out a strong lineup yesterday. But Liverpool, you rested most of your players, in my opinion, today.
No,
Konate was rested. Konate was rested. Salah was rested. Diaz was rested. Would he have played these guys? Trent, your biggest asset, Trent.
But talk about the players who are also playing, right? Like Virgil is a consummate professional, despite whoever's playing alongside him. Yeah, we played Panzer alongside him, but Virgil was playing. I think it was a good. It wasn't a weak team. It was a decent strength team. And look, is it important? At the start of the season, if you ask me how important is the Carabao Cup, I'd say it's not high on my list of priorities. But now we're 2 games from winning it. Yeah, I want to win it. We're favourites in the Europa League, and there aren't that many other strong teams in there. I want to win that too. Obviously, and football doesn't work like this. If you say to me, do you want the league or do you want those two? Then I'm going to say the league. But that's not how football works. With the Carabao Cup, we're within touching distance. So at this point, I'll say we may as well win it.
Listen, if we were in the top 4 race, the importance of it would be less for me, but I'd still want to win it. And people in the chat, we spent $1 billion. You should, I don't care. I don't care how much we spend. I want to win. The currency of football club is silverware. Okay, I don't care what it is. It goes to your total number of trophies. That's what I'm looking at. So I want to win it. I like winning things. This club hasn't gone for the past 20 years, more than 2 years without winning anything. And I don't want that to break, no matter what it is. And the ownership need this trophy as well. The ownership need this trophy. They just do. So you can mock it all you want, but the situation we're in, we need
I'm not mocking it.
Not you. Some people in the chat. That's all.
Stop it, Mo.
Not you, Mo. Hang on.
Like I think for
it's
Chelsea
so disrespectful, man.
I think for Chelsea is important. I don't think it's as important as that for Liverpool, in my opinion.
I disagree there.
It might not be as.
Why you disagree?
Yeah, go on.
Because personally, I feel like going out and I mean, let's just do a hypothetical here. Let's say it's Liverpool and it's Chelsea in the final, and let's say Liverpool beat Chelsea in the final. That gives you like it's a piece of silverware, and all of a sudden we've got a little bit of momentum. We went through a tournament, doesn't matter how difficult or how easy it was, but we got a piece of silverware. And now I've got the FA Cup, I've got the Europa League, and I'm potentially contending for the Premier League. So it gives you that boost. And honestly, I don't think that the cost outweighs the means at this current point. But where I will agree with you is I'll say that I don't think that losing the Carabao Cup is quite significant, but I think that winning it can be significant if that kind of makes sense. It doesn't matter if we lose it, but if we win it, oh my God, like this could be the start. So it's like a weird double-edged sword for that kind of I'm sorry, single-edged sword in this case.
And just obviously it's a number, but it's kind of significant. I think we've won it 9 times so far. This will be 10. We already are the most successful team in this competition, but the 10 has a nice round feeling to it. So I'd like that.
Yeah, we're on 8, I think. So you know what I mean. It's just that I think it's there to win. You should go up as soon as you get to the semi-finals or even quarters. You should be looking at see who's left in there, and that's why. Although Liverpool played better, that's why I was really confused about West Ham's starting lineup, because I was going, you're not in danger of getting relegated at all. You got Man United on Saturday, fine, it's a lunchtime kickoff. It's not the best United. United won't play the same way against West Ham as they did against Liverpool. They just won't. It's just I was really going, just play your full squad. And if they beat you, then take them off. Do you know what I mean? Take Ward-Prowse off, take Paqueta off, stuff like that. But it's there. If it's there, take the trophies, because I'd rather take the trophies than brag about finishing 3rd or 4th and not winning anything.
Nice, easy cup win to get us through the season. Do you think it's going to be easy against Chelsea? I actually don't think so. I think Chelsea are going to give everything trying to win that cup, more than Liverpool, in my opinion. And your manager is still going to play Kala. He's still going to probably play Curtis Jones and maybe Harvey Elliott. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I actually don't know, but I wanted to speak a little bit about Diaz. What happened to Diaz?
He fell off. Fell
Why?
off of personally, I think it's a lot of it is down to the fact that he just doesn't have the same pace as he used to pre-injury, whether that's some sort of rehab thing. I just don't see the same zip out of the guy. He wasn't even able to dribble past Anthony. You know what I mean? And he came on today and he gave away the ball 4 times. Like that's all I saw from Luis Diaz. He went to the left wing, he gave away the ball over and over and over again. I think it's a little bit of decision making. I think it might be a little bit of where he's being put on the pitch. I think it's a little bit of a lack of physical ability at this point post-injury. And I also just don't really see a confident player. So I think it's a combination of a bunch of different things that are leading him to have poor performances. And I don't think that the system right now is suiting him. I'm not sure about Rack.
Do you think he should drop? He should get dropped, and Nunes should play left.
Me, 100%. I think that Saturday, Darwin Nunes should be the left.
You're a Darwin Nunes guy.
Hold on. He deserves his criticism because he can't hit the broadside of a barn with a finish.
The guy hasn't scored in 11 games.
I know. Trust me. I know. I've dialed it back. I'm not gonna argue with you to the heavens to defend my boy, because he can't finish. But he put in a better shift today at left wing than Luis Diaz has all season. And I don't care if it was against an underperforming West Ham. I care about what I saw, and I care about the effort that I saw, and I care that he produced more. And I need the best person at left wing on Saturday. And I think that Darwin, I'll get the most out of. And Luis Diaz, I'm just going to be sitting here screaming at my computer, asking him why he continues to give the ball away and cut inside over and over again.
Do you guys give any credence to what's gone on with him personally? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's like we have no idea because obviously he wasn't kidnapped or anything like his family was, but I just wonder whether he's actually addressed it himself properly. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly not.
And maybe he's thought I can get at work. When the mindset if I'm at work, I'll get through it and stuff like that. Maybe I'm giving it too much credence to that, but
we don't know, right? Players are human, and these kind of the psychological impact of something like that, it could well be something that a factor. How big or small that is, I don't know. People will say you're a professional footballer, you just have to go out there and play, but human beings aren't machines. It's not the same thing, and that may well be an issue. It may well be the injury. Well, ultimately, we just don't know. But what we can see is that the performance level has dropped. Like his first 6 months when he came in, and Mane went centrally and was playing the false nine, and he went out onto that left wing. He was great. Mane was great in that false nine position. Salah was great, and we came within a point of winning the Premier League. That was and he came in, and he fitted in straight away, and we're in business here. And then obviously things haven't quite worked out, especially after the injury. Obviously the team wasn't playing well. There were major changes, or there have been major changes. Robertson isn't around anymore. I'm not, how well they linked up prior to that, I think is kind of questionable. But you've got all this stuff going on around him. I don't know about. I'm not sure about Nunes. I'll be absolutely frank. But today, Nunes
He played
contributed
well.
so much more
Yes.
than Diaz has in a long time. So
I have to give him credit, to be honest, today. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, and also I know some people didn't think Gakpo had that great a game, and I think I agree to some extent in terms of on the ball, but I just think having a player with that kind of fluid movement just causes issues with the defense and destabilizes the defense more than just what someone gives you on the ball purely. And I think that helped us, and I don't think that. I think that caused problems for West Ham, even when he wasn't getting possession. He was taking up positions, he was dropping deep, and turning and running and things like that, which I don't think we have to the same extent with Darwin as a standard nine.
Yeah, I don't think Darwin should play a standard nine. Like that left one, it might be the answer for Darwin Nunes. It might be. Listen, Bermuda Gunner here with an empty super chat, but thank you for the support for the channel, people. Listen, 300 people here. Can we get the likes up to 150, please? Guys, I know the show is nice, but don't forget to hit that like button. It's easy. It doesn't cost you a penny. The last thing is about Liverpool. Is that Mo Salah thing? When are you guys gonna let Mo Salah go and get Bowen? Is that ever happening?
Does he want to go? Is my
I
real
don't know if
question
he
to you?
wants to go. I have no idea.
I don't know why he
I would
would.
think any sane person would take 10 times the wages, especially at the end of the career. That's
I don't.
what, after winning everything with a club, I would think so.
Well, it depends. If he thinks he can win the league, or he thinks he can win the Champions League next season, because the option of going to Saudi will always be there, right? He could go there next season, even if he doesn't sign a new contract. He could go there at the end of next season if he wanted to.
Really? But the money is on the table today. The 150 million for Liverpool is on the. And also, it's you.
We know you've got connections over there, right? So do you think the money is not going to?
The money isn't. So hear me out. The money isn't. The money might not be.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. The money that they offered him and the money that they offered Liverpool might not be there. So here's a simple question for you guys. Would you take at the end of the season 150 million for Mohamed Salah?
How much?
150. I don't think it's going to be 150. I think with 1 year left, it's going to be 100 max. And you would have wasted another 100 for this season. Is Mohamed Salah worth 100 million for Liverpool to keep him this season?
Look, I think these kind of things are always worth considering, because ultimately at some point we do have to let go, right? Salah is not going to be here probably in 3 or 4 years. In 4 years, certainly, I don't expect him to be here. So the question is, how confident are the club in finding a replacement? If they're confident and they think they've got someone who can step into his shoes, or someone to step into somebody else's shoes and kind of make it work in a slightly different way, sure. I think fine, do it. If we're taking risks in that position and we let go of Salah and we get someone who we're not sure about, and then that there's nothing 100% in football, but we have to be very confident because even before Salah joined Liverpool, we tracked him for a long time. We were in for him when Chelsea bought him. So
Jurgen Klopp
it
didn't
has to be
want
the right
him.
man. Sorry.
Didn't Jurgen Klopp not want him?
Well, I don't
he
think
wasn't
he
there
necessarily
at
didn't want
Liverpool.
him.
He
He just
wasn't there
I think his first choice was Julian Brandt because he knew Brandt from Germany. But
Yeah.
Edwards had been tracking tracking Salah since his Basel days, and when Chelsea bought him that winter window, that January window, we were in for him as well. We couldn't seal the deal. I think we wanted to pay 17 million or 13 million, and Chelsea paid 17 or something like that. And then we tried to sign Konoplyanka. He scored against you twice, didn't he? One at the Bridge and one in something like that. Anyway, so we've been tracking for, and that's why, and they convinced him because Brandt didn't want to come, and they said, "Look, check this guy out," and the rest, as they say, is history.
If Mo goes to Liverpool this summer, and he says that no matter what, I'm done. Like, I'm going. Like, if we win the Premier League this season and Mo's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Bada bing. Then I'll probably have to say, fine, I'm not going to allow that guy to go on a free. But it's really, the problem with this question is that it's entirely dependent on what Mo wants, and none of us know what he wants. Like, if Mo wants to stay in Europe and chase legacy, because at 34 years old, he could still probably make 700 grand a week playing in Saudi, and that's still an egregious amount of money. It might not be 2 million, but it's still insane. Not to mention, I mean, we're not talking about endorsement money. There's 10 different ways to skin a cat here. So it's like, it's entirely dependent on whether or not he wants to go. If he doesn't want to go, I'll keep him for 2 more years, no problem. Because if we let him go, the problem is that people have this idea of replacing him. And I think that that's one of the dumbest things ever, because there is no replacing him. If Mo leaves, the whole system needs to change. The whole formation needs to change. Everything about this, the way that this team plays, needs to change, because Mo is our striker. He's a right wing, but he's our striker. And I don't know about you, but I can't find many other right wings off the top of my head that I can put there and say, that's my focal point of attack. That's my striker. So I'm going to have, I'm going to have to entirely change the way I play. And so, that's either something that's going to require a lot of money or time. And so if I sign Mo for another 2-year extension, well, I've got 2 more years to figure that out. If I don't, well, then maybe I'll have a little more.
Why are you ignoring me, Bowen? Why are you ignoring me, Mike?
I would never take Jared Bowen.
Okay, hold on. Mohamed Salah, before he comes to Liverpool, was playing for Roma, and before that was Fiorentina. He was similar to Bowen.
No,
and Liverpool
Bowen
made him.
Bowen is a good player. Nobody's saying Bowen is not a good player. Okay. Does he have the capability to step into Mo Salah's shoes and perform at that level? That's a big question.
I'm asking you, Rak.
And I don't think he's got it in him to get to that level. I think he's a good player. I think if you ask me, would I like him as a squad player at Liverpool? Absolutely. I think he could do a job in our team. But I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't say Mo. So I wouldn't say, oh, Salah walks out the door in the summer and Bowen walks out. I'm happy, because that
I will
not
be
like
furious.
for like.
If you look,
I will be furious.
You'd have to buy 2 to 3 players just to replace Salah's goals. And like you said, you'd have to change the system probably and actually go to an actual number 9.
Yeah.
Probably up front and play the actual 2 additional wingers touch forwards.
4-2-3-1-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like you say, I hate this thing where you just, but we're going to have to find a player like Salah. There's no one like Salah in the world. It's foolish if you try and actually find someone like Salah, because you're the only one looking for someone like a Mo Salah. Do you know what I mean? He's a freak of nature. Do you know what I mean?
Andrew?
The only thing I would say, one second. The only thing I would say is, and look, don't get me wrong, this is easier said than done, right? This is very much easier said than done. But there are always good players out there. Some of them are very obvious, and some of them are less obvious.
Yeah.
This is why I say we have to be confident in finding someone to take over that mantle if you want to go for like. And there aren't any immediate. There aren't any obvious.
His numbers are insane. That's what I'm talking about.
His 200 goals, 201 goals.
There's no one player for me right now, because I'm not a scout and I don't really watch. Not watching you under 18s tournaments.
As a Bayern League.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at the moment, there's no one that pops off that would go. logically that would go, yeah, he's the single one person. That's what I say. You need two. You might like 2 or 3, and like Mike said, you might end up changing the formation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But just to accommodate like some people. But it's up to Mo's got that money. I think Mo's got that money no matter what, whether it's in a year or 2 years. I really do think he's got that. They're paying like Ronaldo is like 38. Do you know what I mean? And can barely
Exactly.
So Mo's like Mo's got that set no matter what year he goes. It's just about whether Liverpool cash in or not. That's what it is.
I think we guys are looking at the at the current moment, and you're saying Salah cannot be replaced, which is I get that, but I'm looking at Salah when he joined Liverpool in 2017. He wasn't Salah of now, and the system made him. And Salah is a brilliant player. I'm Egyptian, right? So I always vouch for my guy, but I'm looking at there has to be a transition, and maybe that transition should have been this year. There has to be a transition.
We have a time coming in the next 3 years, 3 maximum 4 years, where people talk about Klopp at Liverpool 2.0 and all this kind of stuff. The biggest pieces in Liverpool, the original Liverpool, Mo Salah, Alisson, and Van Dijk. In the next 4 years, in the next 3 years potentially, I can see a scenario where Mo goes for sure. I can see a scenario perhaps at the towards the end of his career that maybe Van Dijk wants a new challenge and he can go and play in Spain for a couple of years at Barca or Real Madrid or something. I can imagine that kind of thing coming because his contract is coming to an end at the end of next season or season after. But something like that, we've seen it happen with someone like Thiago Silva. So I would be very surprised if Virgil van Dijk finishes his career at Liverpool, and something similar with Alisson. And then, that will be the end of the rebuild. But those are major, major pieces that need to be replaced. And to be absolutely honest, as a Liverpool fan, that is scary because we're not just swapping out, bit part players. We're swapping out the foundations of the team.
Yeah, Andrew here is saying I'd rather let Salah go for free after 2 years after next season because FSG is cheap. I think if FSG get that much money from Mo Salah, they will have to invest it in the squad. Andrew, that's actually, I think that would be a given in my opinion. But thank you, Andrew. But I think 100 million for 1 year left in his contract is too much money to turn down. Bermuda Gunnar saying Liverpool won't win a trophy in Europe because too many good teams like Milan have dropped down from the Champions League. Well, I don't think Milan is a good team.
No, am I supposed to be afraid of Christian Pulisic coming and beating me at Anfield? Really? Seriously?
Respect. You're American, and Christian Pulisic is your countryman.
Show
some respect.
That's the whole point.
Men's national team.
That's the whole point. We weren't even in the World Cup. That's the whole point. 4 years ago. That's the whole point.
Anyway, let's see people over 300. Let's 5 minutes.
We haven't talked about Chelsea at all. Andrew's been here.
Exactly. That's why 5 minutes. And I want to talk about Chelsea, about Modric and Nkunku's back and Pochettino. We spoke a lot about Chelsea yesterday. That's the thing, right? Like we spoke a lot about Chelsea yesterday. I still think Chelsea is in a better place than Man United.
Oh my God! Oh my! Staffy just rolled over.
He's only doing it because he saw Staffy in the comments. That's why he's doing it.
Yeah. No, the thing is, you know what, right?
Let me show you something, guys. Go ahead, Rack. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I know where Staffy will be coming from because obviously the result was dire for Chelsea, but I understand where Mo is coming from because. This may turn out to be the wrong structure. They may have recruited poorly. We won't know that because some of these players are too young to make a determination right now. But at least they have a plan. Man United don't even have a plan. So I can understand where Mo is coming from, and I'm trying to be objective when I say this. Even though it's United Liverpool, rivalry and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to try and be objective. Man United may be a slightly better team right now, but that doesn't mean that long term they're in a better position. But football changes. Football can change very quickly, right? It's possible that they make some adjustments to their structure. They stumble across a system. I don't know. Stuff can happen in a relatively short period of time.
Play players in their
Yeah,
natural position.
and things can change. But I think long term, right now, I see Chelsea in a better position than Man United. And again, I may be wrong. Who knows?
I'm gonna show you something. To keep talking. I'm trying to bring out something.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here because
Oh
personally,
yeah, your friend Staffy invites you to the show.
no.
I know
We're
what's
not gonna
going
do
on
this.
here.
We're not gonna do this.
I can invite you here.
Here. Listen. Personally, I don't know. I think right now they're both stuck between a rock and a hard place, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. The problem that I see with Chelsea is that you spend all this money on all these players, and you're underperforming. So that means that the value of all of these players has gone down, which means that you're never going to make a profit selling those players, which means that if you get into Europe, you're screwed. You're screwed because you will never, ever, ever be able to recover with FFP because you'll never make a profit on any of these guys and you will consistently be in the red. And so how are you supposed to reinvest? That's the problem that Chelsea have.
By the way, I was talking about the football, guys.
No, I know that, but this
I was talking about the football. I wasn't
100%
talking
a part
about
of that, though.
because I actually think that the project that Chelsea is building isn't great. But I still, footballing wise, like I get what you're saying, Mike. So project wise, they bought too many youngsters hoping that one of them will bang and they will sell him for like 80 million to recover all that money or 100 million. If that doesn't happen, they're stuck with long-term contracts. That's not great. Let me just share you something, okay?
It's not so much that though, because they can sell. That they have got a decent production line of young British players, so they will always be able to sell. Maybe two of them a summer for somewhere between 40 and 60 million potentially, right? If they keep producing. Now, at some point, if they stop producing the young players they can sell on for a decent amount of money, then it becomes an issue. Like they're talking about getting rid of Conor Gallagher now, who has arguably been Chelsea's best player. Andrew, maybe you would disagree. I'm not sure, but that doesn't really make sense in a footballing sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense in a footballing sense. But they can. But the thing is, you're right. If these players don't perform, then you've got a massive hole in your finances, and then you don't have money to be able to reinvest, and then it becomes a spiral.
Look, I'm not a stats guy, okay? But what you see in the front of the screen is the data from all competitions for Chelsea and Man United this season. I normally don't do the stats, but I have spoken so much about why I think Man United don't have a plan on the pitch because of injuries, because of whatever. I'm not seeing it, while Chelsea have a plan. In front of you is the data for this season, right? This is not me making this data. This is the datamp.football, the website that a lot of people use to compare players and stuff. You can tell that Chelsea are playing better than Man United. That Man United are the kings of 2-1s and 1-0s, right? That's what it is, getting results, which is they are great about that. I'm talking about the football. Chelsea, every time I'm watching them, they have a plan. But their coach is choosing the wrong players sometimes. They don't have the right back to play here. They don't have the left back to play there. The number 10 isn't there because he was injured. But this graph exactly shows what I mean every time I'm looking at how Chelsea play football versus Man United. I feel Man United are getting the result, stealing the result. But every game is different. That's my point. While Chelsea, most of the games they play, they have a plan. They try to do the same thing every game. And that's what I think that I'm watching this. And the stats reflect that. I'm not a stats guy, but this is exactly reflects what I'm seeing. Yesterday, Chelsea moved the ball amazing. But the ball is going to Disasi as a right back or Levi as a left back to cross the ball. Conor Gallagher stood on the ball in the number 10 position, not knowing what to do. That's not his place.
If this is the case,
that's what it is. Mine went blank. I told Mo on the Sam's channel earlier. The Sassy was out on the right hand side. No one went up to him because they knew he wasn't going to cross in. You could have parked a car between him and the defender because no one was pressing him because he's not a right back, and that's my problem. Even Mo said it. We made a sub at half time, Colwell for Gusto, and he put Gusto at left back. Do you know what I mean? He's a right back, and then when he put Matson on, we had a better balance, and that's the whole thing I'm talking about. It's the coaching side. My thing is this: we have played. I think we played some good football this season, but we also played some terrible football this season. But no matter who the manager is and who the players are, we don't convert enough of our chances.
Yeah,
and it's been like that for years under the new regime, under the old regime. It's been the same consistent thing for 6 going on 7 years. We can't, and we don't have a player like Hazard who can bail us out at the last minute, like he had done for the 2 years. So
yeah,
Pochettino, he can. But Pochettino can get things right. If he had us like 8th or 7th at the moment, I wouldn't be complaining. I would not be complaining because I think that's where the squad is at this moment in time. But it's not 12th. Well, it's 12th from the way we're performing, but it shouldn't be 12th.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
That's the difference.
Let me
100% agreed.
From Staffy. This is the first time you say on the pitch, Mo. Well, that's what I thought that was obvious that I'm against Chelsea project. I've been, Andrew, you've been with me on streams. I've been against this Chelsea project from the beginning. I was talking on the pitch because I promised the viewers that I will focus on the football, and that's what I meant, to be honest. So maybe it's a misunderstanding, Staffy, but that's what I think. Tim Fraud, he's saying on the pitch. So now it's a different argument because I agree. I still don't see a start from Tim Fraud. That was my place. The problem, Staffy, is that a lot of Man United fans, not you, the club's trajectory in terms of the football, yes, I see a plan. I see on the pitch, I see Chelsea have a plan on the pitch. That's it. That's the point. Maybe you misunderstood me, but I said that these youngsters, Chelsea, to be honest, Chelsea replaced youth teams and youth projects with buying youngsters. They literally went and bought 10 youngsters and said, this is our youth academy now. We buy players from Brazil, from everywhere, hoping that one of them is gonna bang. So that's completely different. But that's what I meant all the time, that Chelsea on the pitch, I see. That's why I keep saying that a style of play from Chelsea look better than Man United, even though the results are not going their way. But I said the style of play, but that's the point. That's it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And that's the problem. It's just inconsistent. And
unless someone thinks that Ten Hag is doing something I don't know about.
I don't know what he's doing.
Nope.
Like you said, he's getting away with results, and like I say, that will give him the actual draw against you guys. Will actually probably give him more leeway with the higher ups, probably there, because everyone was expecting a battering. But going back to Poch, he doesn't. It's not. We're not even asking for big things. Like I say, just play players in their natural position. Do you know what I mean? Right back at right back, left back at left back, and stop giving us a defensive 10. Even though Gallagher's been okay this season, we actually coined the term a defensive 10. I didn't think I'd ever say that in my life, but he's a defensive 10. That's what he is. And like I say, now I don't know how Nkunku fits into this as well. That'd be fascinating.
A number 10 or a left winger or something, because Mudryk needs to play track and field.
Talk about Poch here, that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? You might stick him at right back. You know what I mean? We don't know about this guy, so it's a point of that. But I agree. Both clubs are different. The trajectory is different. Whether I don't know what Chelsea are going to do in January, whether they'll buy a striker or not, but
should.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, people. This has been a fantastic stream. I don't want to keep the guys for long. It's a quick recap of Queen Nadra here with a super chat saying Chelsea play shit at teams, but when it's Liverpool, they play like prime Barcelona.
That's true. That is true.
Chelsea played well against Man City. You conceded a lot of goals, but you played good football.
How do we play
City were really poor that day, though. So.
Everton, we were.
Well, was it City were poor or Chelsea were able to bypass their press?
It was both. It was
both, right?
Yeah.
Well, both. Chelsea played well against Arsenal, didn't you?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Sanchez's mistake, you would have won the game.
Yeah, even when they moved Rice to a DM, I think without Sanchez's mistake, we win that game. I believe. But Queen Nadra is here taking a dig at Chelsea. That was the first game of the season. But yeah, anyway, I'll just add the name to the list.
Listen, congratulations congratulations to Rack, congratulations Mike, and also of course Andrew for having an easy draw. For some reason, Liverpool got Fulham. It's a draw.
It's okay.
Todd Bowley, who cares about $500,000
that's why the draw
from the club's budget? Who cares?
They were
it's silverware.
Sure Liverpool, Chelsea.
It's silver.
Listen, meet in the final. That's what
people, 300 people here. Get the likes up, and thank you for everybody that watched us. Thank you for everybody that supported the channel super chat. Tomorrow afternoon, at 3 p.m. UK time, Lewis, LB, and Hussam on the channel. That would be a great stream. Of course, it turns into LB and Hussam against Mo as every week. As it's simple because the cringy rivalry between Liverpool and Man City, we know it. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to give Casual EFC a subscription in the description, of course, and also Staffy TV, simply Staffy TV. You just have to type Staffy TV, give him a subscription, please. It's easy. Let's get Staffy TV to 3K as soon as possible. It is simple. Stay on the stream. It will take you to Jacob, United Spurs of America. Tell him Mo Raid from me and from all of us here. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you guys soon. We're out.